Hey, everybody out there in Internet land, James Jordan, best networker alive. I have my good friend Brian Bri Spector, right? And we're here. We're doing this live training tonight on this lovely evening. For those of you that are watching this live, I salute you because you could be out doing anything on a Friday night. You could be out, killing your lungs by drinking, or killing your kidney by drinking, or killing your lungs by smoking something that you ain't supposed to smoke, right? That's lethal, right? We're not talking about stuff that God created, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, guys, I just wanted to come to you tonight. I was talking with Brian a little bit earlier, and I was like, dude, let's do a hangout tonight. Let's just do another hangout. Let's give a lot of value away. Let's help people go out and produce in their business, go out and get the results that they seek. Start to create the lifestyle that they want for themselves, and have the things that they want. The cars that they want, the watches, the houses, the cars, the clothes, whatever it is that you're looking to do, the trips, the vacations, whatever it is that you're really looking to achieve in your life, as far as manifesting something into the physical realm. We want to help you go out and do that, and that's why we have these trainings on a consistent basis, right? I'm going to emphasize that over the course of this night, consistency, because when you're consistent with something, you're going to get a result, right? And when you're consistent with bad things, you get bad things, right? But when you're consistent with good things, guess what? You get good things, and you get them over and over and over and over and over again. So, the title of this hangout, the title of this training, we're calling success principles, because we're essentially just going to share with you some success principles that we have discovered over the course of our time marketing over the internet, being involved in the network marketing industry and affiliate marketing industry, and we're just going to give you value. We're just going to share with you what we can so that you can go out and get the results that you want for yourself. And with that being said, Brian, I'm going to hand it over to you, brother, while I drink some coffee.
All right. So I wanted to start this hangout and really just talk about like some of the progress that we've been able to make in just this past week. Like I myself, I've had more team members join this week than I have any other week, and it's really because I put myself into the mindset of just pure focus, like cutting everything out that was distracting me, and just going hard, with whatever my intentions were. And I noticed that business a lot of times, you can treat business like a workout, right? You have your ultimate goal that you want to achieve, and when you just put in the time and the energy and the effort, and you actually do the work, right? That's when results will happen. And a lot of times, what I'm actually seeing happen out there in the marketplace with people who aren't getting results is that they're not doing the things that work. They're doing the things that don't work. And I used to do that, right? Like when I first got involved in the industry, I was struggling for a really long time. I was trying to, I was trying to close people in my sleep. I would have prospects calling me at 3 or 4 in the morning, and then I was like really desperate, trying to convince them to get on my team. And now I'm just at the point where I just have to send an email, talk about a couple of results here or there, and then people just join like that, right? Maybe you actually feel like joining right now as you're watching this video. And it's actually pretty funny because I'm realizing that it gets easier as you get more momentum, okay? So I like to always use this analogy. I want to come up with another analogy because I keep using this over and over. And it's probably going to get old soon, but I like to tell people about, comparing business to the gym, okay? If you go to the gym, right, you want to build muscle, what do? You go in, you have a planned routine on what you're going to do, or maybe you're just randomly doing exercises, but you feel like you have that feeling that you know what works and what doesn't, right? And you stick to what you know works, and if you're consistent with it, then over a period of time, what happens? You look in the mirror, and you're like, wow, I lost weight. Wow, I gained muscle. Wow, I'm looking different, right? But a lot of times, especially in this internet space, network marketing, what I notice is that sometimes we can stay stuck in the same place for a really long time. That actually happened to me. I stayed at the same income level for like a really, really, really long time. And it wasn't until I decided to just cut off all distractions, I decided to just really focus on what I needed to do. And that's another thing too, right? Is like sometimes we all, like 90% of the time we know what we need to do, but sometimes we feel like we'll do it tomorrow, right? Or we procrastinate. you actually just take, um, you know, I just did this for like 2 weeks or something, right? Like I just took 2 weeks and I just really focused as much as I could with all the knowledge that I had. I'm using all the resources uh, that I had around me, and I just like really went in hard. And I like to compare it to a workout because when you have a lot of intensity in your workout, right, it might hurt, it might be hard, but when you get out, right, you feel great. And you know that you just put in a lot of energy and that, you know, when you go to sleep and you wake up, what happens? Your muscles are going to grow. You're going to lose weight. It's a very simple formula, right? Success principles are very universal. You can transfer them to any area of your life. I like to transfer it from the gym into business, right? So what are a lot of things that people do when they go to the gym or like when they're operating business that makes them fail? Well, one thing is having a bad habit, right? Because a lot of times um, whenever you feel like you're failing, whenever you feel like you are a failure, it's because over an extended period of time, you've been making the wrong decisions, right? Maybe you went to the drive-through and you decided to get a burger, and you were like, oh, well, it's just one burger, right? Maybe you decided to pick up one cigarette and smoke it, and oh, it's just one cigarette, right? But over an extended period of time, you keep repeating those actions, doing them over and over and over again. What happens? It creates this giant it just creates this giant result of what, well, in retrospect, right, if you want to have success, what is success? It's a bunch of tiny commitments made over time that when you execute them properly and you do them over an extended period of time, that's what you call success, right? So all I started to do in just the past 2 weeks alone, because I decided that I wanted to get to that next level in my business, is I realized that if I wanted to get to a certain level, I had to put in a certain amount of work and harvest without planting the seed. You know what I mean? So I had my end result in mind, and I was like, okay, well, in order to get there, I have to do this, right? And then I just went ahead and executed. And that's really all you have to do. These are universal success principles, like I was saying before. But you know, if you just put in the hard work and you know that it works, there's no reason why you shouldn't come out on the other side, unless you find a reason to procrastinate or you create some type of struggle for yourself, some type of obstacle that should not be there. I know a lot of times, especially a couple of months ago, right, I would just wake up and I wasn't getting the results that I wanted. So I would stay in my bed and I would think about ways that I could just change my life, right, instead of just doing them. And when you just actually take that action and you stop thinking about it, that's when everything can change for you. So yeah, my mind's just kind of going off right here, and I'm just like spitting randomly what's coming out of my mouth, right? And it's kind of funny because before this hangout, I was even telling James, what should we talk about, right? And he's like, shut up, Brian, don't think, just do it. And so it's a perfect example right here. You know,
Yep.
even right now, right, I could sit here and I could plan it and I could think about what I'm going to say, but what is that going to do? It's going to prolong the process because I know that, you know, just taking action and doing the work, that'll get the results. So I'm just going to pass it on to you. Yeah, I had a lot to say.
Yeah, bro, and you're absolutely right. And I know you have a little bit more to say, so I want you to keep going because I want you to push past your comfort zone and just give more value, brother. I don't care what you say, just bring it out of your subconscious and just share, bro. Because I can see the change in you since the last time that we hosted a live training.
Yeah. Oh, you want me to just continue right now? Okay. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't even know what to say right now. I'll just carry on with what I was saying and then just jump in if you have anything to say. Um, okay, so there's a couple of things that I've been implementing into my business ever since I got into like this focus zone, and I always had these resources all along. It's not like it's something new, but I just made a decision, like I was saying earlier, to just kind of pull it out and actually decide to use them. And so I'm just going to break down the formula for exactly what it is I'm doing. And I'll get like a little in detail here because I know that there's been a lot of people who have been asking me like, how are you getting people to join your team? What can I do to actually break through in the network marketing industry? First of all, it's mindset, like I was saying before. Second of all, really, when you boil it down and you make it into a very simple formula, right? All it is you find people who have a problem, you have the solution, right? And you actually get in front of them, and what do? You offer the solution, right? So what I've actually been doing for this small period of time that I've just been putting so much focus into what I'm doing is, yeah, just slapping slapping the solution in front of the people who have the problems, stabbing the wound a little, right? Because here's the thing is like if you are in a market that has a lot of problems and you have the solution, right, and nobody has anywhere else to go to, like that's money that's on the table that's just waiting for you. Like let's just be real here, right? We're all in this industry because we want to make money. And a lot of times what I see happening is that there's so many people out there who don't see that money, or maybe they're afraid to take it. And that was me at one time. You know, just hopping on a webinar like this, speaking my mind. I was afraid to do that because I mean, it's kind of stupid, some of the reasons, right? Maybe it's because you're afraid of what people might think of you. Maybe it's because you feel like you don't deserve the money. Maybe it's because you feel like your life is just gonna make a complete 360, and you're just gonna be uncomfortable. At the end of the day, there's money on the table that's just sitting in front of you, waiting for you to just grab it, right? And all you have to do is become that person that deserves it, right? I mean, you already deserve it right now, right? But I'm talking about stepping into your leadership, stepping into the person that you need to become in order to run that business or in order to attract sales to you, right? And then you just take it. So, like, when you're in a really focused zone and you're implementing things into your business and you already have all the resources around you, the only person that could really stop you is yourself. You know what I mean? And so, let me just break this down into like 3 actionable steps so you can actually do this right now, okay? Number 1, get in the right mindset. And the easiest way to do that is to listen to audios by powerful people who are getting the results that you want, or by reading books. I would recommend that you do both of them, okay? Do this daily, because if you don't, what happens? Your mind starts to sift away, and it starts to absorb what's going on in the world around you. And there's a lot of negativity out there and stuff, right? Okay. Second thing that you need to do is plug into some resources, plug into a system that you know works. Because the biggest problem that I had when I first got into the network marketing industry is that I was willing to do the work. I was actually, I probably think I have like an extremely like crazy work ethic that most people would hate doing, right? But when I first got in the industry, I would stay up like 48 hours at a time just grinding on the computer, doing what I had to do to get the results that I wanted. And, you know, maybe you have to go through a period of struggle like that in order to build up credibility for yourself, but at least you know that when you do that, you'll break through to the other side. And so one of the things that I really wish that I had when a system like what I'm using now, to where, you know, I don't have to like really guess what works and what doesn't. I can just plug into leaders who know what they're talking about, and I can, you know, just follow their advice. Look at what they're doing, look at what they did in the past that didn't work, and then just, you know, plug and play. And then the third thing that I would say is just take action. Don't think about it, because the more you think about it, the less you're going to take action, and the longer it's going to take for the results to show up. So with that being said, I'm going to pass it back to you, James, because now my mind is pooped and I don't know. I really like spilled the beans with everything that I've been doing for the past couple of days.
Yeah, bro, I totally hear you. You know, my son, Malachi, who just had a birthday on Wednesday, he just turned 4. He had woke up and had to go to the bathroom and wanted some milk and stuff. So, you know, I threw it right back over to you, bro. I appreciate that. But the reason, another reason why I did it is because it just got you out of your comfort zone, right? Like, you know, usually when we do live trainings like this, you know, I talk a lot, right? And I get into these states where I just go, 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 and I totally lose track of time. And, it even happens with Brian, where Brian will literally forget that he's on a hangout because I just go into these zones where I just start sharing and start giving value. And time just stops when I share. And I wanted to help Brian get in that state of mind because when you just free flow, when you just decide to be in flow, that's when you're in prosperity. If you look up the definition of prosperity, it is in flow. So how is it that you get in flow? Well, Brian talked about it a lot. And if you notice, if you've been on any of our trainings in the past, or if you read any of our emails or see our videos or see any of our blog posts or Facebook posts or anything like that, you'll notice that what we say is very consistent. Diving into personal development, allowing you to get into that peak state of mind. I can tell you when I wake up in the morning, I listen to A Winner's Image by Bob Proctor. I dive into a product like the Inner Circle inside of Empower Network by listening to those audios from different people that I've either known for years or just met from going to live events, right? Or people that I haven't met yet, just so that I can gain their knowledge through listening to them. And there's no difference between you being right in front of that person live at a live event or you just closing your eyes and listening to the audio, because then it's like that person is right in front of you, right? That's the secret tip that I got from one of my mentors, Lawrence Tan. But personal development is key. Like I said, I listen to A Winner's Image in the morning, Inner Circle, right? I'll listen to some Tony Robbins on top of that. If I'm going in, right, like I'm listening to Tony Robbins. I also have this CD by Abraham Hicks, this Law of Attraction CD, and I'm going to keep talking about it because it is a awesome CD, right? Literally, there's like there's like beats, and you got Abraham Hicks talking about different phrases, different statements. It has excerpts from some of her live events, right, that were recorded that are put on these tracks, and it literally allows you to just start thinking positively. Start thinking about what it is that you want for yourself. Like, all you simply have to do, when you get really good at manifestation, right, you literally can close your eyes and visualize yourself going out and having success. For example, we teach, right, going out and getting 2 signups a day. Now, a lot of people seem to think that 2 signups a day is hard, right? But it's only hard until you break through and do it, right? Once you do it one day, then you go out and do it again, right? And then it becomes easy to you. Like, oh, well, that was easy, right? And the thing is, until you get to that point, it's extremely difficult because you're battling yourself because you're looking at what's in front of you, right? You're not focusing on the future. You're not focusing on the fact that you have the ability to do it and that you can do it because someone else could do it, right? If you simply have the vision of, I want to live my life of freedom, right? I want to be able to do the things that I want to do when I want to do it. You have been given that vision on purpose, right? I want you to know and understand that you have been given a vision on purpose. I say this over and over and over and over again. Regardless of what your beliefs are, whether you believe in a higher source, a creator, or whatnot, I personally believe that God doesn't play tricks on people. So if you have a vision, if you have a dream, right, that's been downloaded into your brain, the reason is because you are supposed to live that dream. And if you don't live that dream, you're going to have a huge piece of regret walking through life for the rest of your life, and it's going to be evident. Whether you consciously realize it or not, you will know and understand that there's a dream that just didn't get captured, right? You see all these different people that just simply give up on life, right? But if you're watching this right now, you're watching this live, you're watching this on recording, it's simply because you have a vision for yourself. You believe that things are possible. You believe that success is possible for you, and you're looking for that extra golden nugget. You're looking for that one key secret that's going to allow you to go out and get results. And the real key to everything that me and Brian are sharing with you tonight is that it's not just one key secret, right? Because when you get good at developing yourself, and when you get great at developing yourself, what you realize is that there's always a continuous upward scale, right? There's always a continuous upward scale. Because when you tap into your higher self, what you know and understand is that your higher self is perfect, right? And that's why as human beings, we're always looking to get better at things. We're always looking to improve at things. We're looking to have, a better car if that's what we, idolize and stuff like that, a better house, or, better physique as far as like, physical and whatnot. Like me personally, I've been running and exercising again. Like before this hangout, I went to the store, right? I ran, right? And I remember I was running and I saw some people in the car you know, and they looked like they were kind of like laughing at me. And in my head, I was like, well, they're laughing at me because they're uncomfortable, because they're sitting in the car doing God knows who what, absolutely nothing constructive, while I'm sitting there running at, you know, 9:30 at night, getting some exercise in, right? And running is a really good way to release things, right? Like I literally, and I talked about this last week on the Hangout, but you know, I had tears coming down my eyes as I was running, not because I was crying or anything of that nature, but obviously there was tension in my body that got released by me running, and not just running, but sprinting, right? And I talked about this a little bit last week when it comes to killing your ego. The reason why you're not where you want to be right now is because you have an ego, right? You got to drop that ego. You literally have to kill that ego and keep growing and keep developing, right? And getting around people who are smarter than you, having a humbleness about you, so that you can get around people who are smarter than you, that will help you, that will give you the answers that you require. Now, sometimes you're going to hear things that you don't want to hear, right? Like we may be talking about, you know, taking more action, and you may be putting up the excuse in your mind, right, that you don't have enough time, right? I have 3 kids. 2 of my kids live with me. I totally get it. I totally understand. I can't stay up for 48 hours in a row like Brian can, because if I do, I will be the most irritable, angry person because my kids have a lot of energy, right? So I manage my time the best way that I can, but I still manage my time in a way where I can create whatever I need to do in my business. Basically, is what I really want to get around to. Is whatever I need to do in my business, I make sure it gets done, right? Any pockets of time that I have to focus completely on my business, I do it, right? I have learned to be indistractable. Like this, someone that connected with me on Facebook, I think like last week or the week before or whatever, who he reached out to me today about some tool that he got, right? And he literally just got it yesterday, and he was talking to me about it and all this stuff, and I was like, dude, I'm not interested. I'm focused on what it is I'm currently doing. He's like, well, this is phenomenal. This is fantastic. This is going to do this and all that. And I was like, okay, so how long have you had this tool, and do you have any results from using it, right? Because I am focused on one thing, results. Why? Because I get results. And when you talk to people who have results, when you talk to people who are getting results, right, and who are looking to automate their business much faster and easier, what happens is you just realize that they're undistractable. If you listen to any successful person in any industry, period, what you will realize is that they have a complete laser focus on what it is that they want for themselves and clarity, right? I talk about having clarity all the time. I talk about my dream of making $15,000 a day within the next year. Is it possible? Absolutely. I know people who do that, right? There's billionaires out here, guys. I'm only talking about a little bit over $5.5 million a year, right? And some of you may be sitting there saying to yourself, whoa, right? But it's all about perspective. It's all about relevancy. Like $5.5 million a year, that's like that's a 6th man on an NBA roster, right? It's all about how you position things in your mind, right? And that's what I want you to know and understand and realize, because you have the ability to create whatever it is that you want in your life, but you have to make the decision that is possible, right? A lot of people, see, the thing is with marketing and mindset and stuff, a lot of people talk about focusing on what you want, right? And you have to do that. But you have to make the decision first that you're going to do whatever it takes. And a lot of people don't even get to that point. A lot of people stay in this place where they're just procrastinating, and they just keep staying in a state of overwhelm where you're thinking about this thing and thinking about this thing and thinking about this thing and thinking about this thing. Oh, I have to create this, and I have to do this, and then I have to set up an Instagram account and a Facebook account and a YouTube account and a Twitter account, and And instead of saying, okay, I need to set up a YouTube account, all right, let me go ahead and set up my YouTube account, right, and then move on to the next thing. Instead, you're sitting here thinking about everything, and because you're thinking about everything, you're not taking action. You want to know the real secret to going out and getting results is rolling up your sleeves and just deciding that you're going to go out and kick ass, and you're going to figure out things trial by fire. Remember that, trial by fire, trial by fire. See, because you're not going to figure out everything in your head. Trust me, coming from a person that's been in this industry for so long, going like 7 years, going on 8, ever since what, 2000, I got started in network marketing in 2006, and I started marketing over the internet in 2007. So I have a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of a network, right? And there were like points and I mean like years in time where I literally would just sit still, right? I might buy a product here or there, right? You know, stay in touch with people in the industry and whatnot, and yeah, I knew things, and yeah, I was super talented and all this stuff, but I was in such a state of standstill because I wanted to control everything, because I thought I knew everything, right? Because I have such a huge ego, right? that it caused me to be in a place where I just wasn't getting anything done. And then earlier this year, right, because I was creating results in Empower Network and in internet marketing, getting back in, selling my own products, marketing Empower Network, building a team, getting coaching clients, things of this nature. I was doing all those things last year, yet I wasn't really growing to where I wanted to grow. And then I sat there and I took a look back. I took a step back and looked at myself and my business and what I needed to do in order to get to where I wanted to go, right? And sometimes we have to do that. Sometimes we have to really be humble. Sometimes we need a coach. We need a mentor, right? Like, right now I'm taking parenting classes, right? Because I'm not the greatest parent in the world, right? And it's because I had as far as my upbringing, I can tell you right now, I did not get taught the proper skills to raise children, right? And I've been learning trial by fire, trial by fire. But just like in my business, right, where I've gone out and hired mentors, hired coaches, purchased information, going through products and stuff like that, right? I decided, hey, I want to be the best parent that I can be, especially since I grew up without my dad being around, right? So I went out and I decided to hire someone to help me develop myself as a parent. And you know what's funny? A lot of the things that I've been learning, I can apply towards my business. So not only am I learning how to be a better parent, right? I'm learning how to be a better marketer, how to be a better leader, how to teach people. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to our emotional side, which is what you need to tap into in order to go out and get the results that you want, when you're emotional, you go back to a state of being around 10 years old, right? I picked this up in a copywriting course that I got a couple years back. Shoot me a message on Facebook to get the name of that course because I can't recall right now at this very moment. But I learned that a couple years back. You see, when we decide to buy, when we decide to plug into something, when we decide to take action, it's because we divert back to our childlike state where we come from a place of emotion, right? And you got to learn how to tap into that emotion in a good way versus tapping into it in a bad way, like being overwhelmed, being frustrated, being angry. Instead, being opportunistic, right? Being positive-minded, thinking about, how can you attract the result that you want in your life? Like, for example, I ask myself every single day, James, how are you going to go out and have your first $15,000 day, right? How are you going to go out and do it so that you have your first 7 consecutive $15,000 days? These are the type of things that I tell myself, and I speak them out into reality, and I speak them out into existence because that is how the law of attraction works. You see, I'm not bugging out if I don't have a $15,000 day yet. But I know every single day I'm working towards it. I know every single day I'm doing different things. I'm bringing in team members. I'm setting up systems, right? I'm doing all these different things. And some of you may be saying, he's going a million miles a minute. Well, that's because I'm focused on what I want, my brain is processing a lot faster because I'm not in a place of overwhelm, right? I'm only focused on the end goal. I am a heat-seeking missile towards my goal of $15,000 per day. And I guarantee you, by any means necessary, as long as it doesn't affect my integrity or morals, I'm getting there. That's it, period. And that's the sort of determination that you have to have. That's the sort of determination that you have to display to people in order to go out and start attracting people to you. You really want to know what attraction is really about? It's about having confidence. It's about, going out and stating your vision and speaking your vision into people, because until you do that, no one's going to follow you, right? Until you get clear on what you want, until you get clear on the type of person that you want to bring into your reality, that you want to join your team, and you describe that, right, to them and say, hey, I'm not looking for any lazy-ass tire kickers, right? For example, I'm looking for hardworking people who are serious, who are hungry, who are motivated, who have big whys, who want to go out and achieve their dreams and live a life that was only a imagination up until they said, you know what, I'm going to do whatever it takes, and I'm going to align myself with someone like you so that they can go out and get the goal that they want. That is where you have to be, my friend. You gotta start getting energy. You gotta start let me rephrase that, because I learned this from Bob Proctor a little while back. You don't get energy, you release it, right? Just like how I talked about when I was running earlier. I was releasing energy, I was releasing stress, right? And now I'm even more jazzed up, rejuvenated, and then I decided to drink some coffee like a crazy person. So that's probably why I'm going a million miles a minute, man. But, with that being said, bro, I just want to bring it back over to you and have you give value, brother. He's like, what?
Yeah, so when you were touching, I was like, there's so many things that you were saying that I'm like trying to remember, because there's so many points I wanted to touch on. I just didn't want to interrupt you. But the one thing that that you were talking about that I want to go back to is focus. Like, that's probably the most important thing that you can have in your business. There's a lot of people out there who they have a business, but they don't really have a business. You know what I mean? Like they get into business for themselves, they buy products, they invest into their future, but then they don't actually treat it like a business. So what happens? It actually pays them like a hobby. And so one of the things that I actually struggled with for a really long time, for almost like a year and a half, I was just kind of like, yeah, I'm doing that internet thing on the side. And I didn't really have any real motivation to push me um, to break through and to actually make things happen. So sometimes you have to tap really deep within yourself and find out, have that reason to actually push hard and to actually get things done. That's why a lot of times I see parents just like James. I see people who have a loved one, or people who are doing this not just for themselves, and for some reason it's just like they can break through like that, like without really even trying as hard as somebody like me, who's pretty much independent. I don't have any kids. I'm single. You know what I mean? So it's like there's a difference when you tap deep within yourself and you find that reason to go hard, or to not, like, basically to make it or break it, right? And so when you're focused and you're actually like really concentrating your energy on making something happen, it'll happen if you want it to happen, right? Like, actually listen to what I'm saying. Like, if you want it to happen, it'll happen. But most people don't want it to happen. They say that they want it to happen, right? But they don't take the necessary actions and steps to make it happen. So this is what I really recommend that you do if you already have a business, or maybe you want to get in a business like us, is have at least, I would say, at least 1 to 2 weeks of just concentrated focus with as much energy as you can put into it, as much mental power that you can push into your business with creativity and stuff. Because when you can actually step into, it's like stepping into, like, what I call the hyperbolic time chamber. If you've ever watched Dragon Ball Z, you know anything about that. It's like this zone where the second you step into it, everything around you just kind of disappears. Like, time doesn't exist, space doesn't exist. All that exists is you and your goal. And how are you going to get there? By just doing the work. And so a lot of times, right, and this happened to me, like I said, like a year and a half ago, is I kind of had my business on the side, and I wasn't paying it too much attention until something bad happened. You don't want it to get to that point. And I'm trying to save you from getting to that point if you haven't already been there. Maybe you've already been through some type of struggle or stressful situation in your life that pushed you beyond. Don't look back at it like it's a bad thing, because you can use that as your source of power. But sometimes we need things like that to push us, because if situations like that don't come around, then we really don't tap into the power that we need to make something happen. And so when you actually decide to like step into that new person, like I was saying, like step into your leader, become the person that you need to become in order for your business to succeed, that's when everything will situations will start to attract. You'll attract situations into your life. Events will start happening. You'll start meeting the right people. They'll start saying the right things. Maybe you're watching this right now and it seems like everything that we're saying is like hitting on point also, right? It's because your mind, and we actually talked about this in our last webinar, your mind has something called the reticular activating system, right? Where it focuses only on one goal, and it does everything in its power to get all the resources around you to make that happen, if you truly want it, right? And to get to that point where you truly want it, you have to be taking action. You can't just be wishing and praying and hoping that somehow something is going to happen. Because think about it, you are a fully functioning human being, right? You have so much potential. You have so many gifts and abilities and skills that maybe the world needs to see. And the reality is that you just need to take those resources that you have and then just bring them out, show them to people. There's a lot of hidden talents and abilities that I see in people. They have so much potential, and then sometimes they don't release it, and then they wonder why they're not getting the results that they want. It's because sometimes they're not using what they already have. right? So I want to challenge you right now. Um, if maybe you're stuck, or maybe you're just trying to figure out what you need to do to get to that next level, whether it's in your business, whether it's in your life, or it's somewhere in your relationships or anything like that, maybe all you really need to do is just have like this concentrated focus where you have all of the resources that you've ever attained, all the knowledge, all the wisdom, everything that you've collected over a period of time, and then you just use it. You just go on a 30-day run, 60-day run, 90-day run, and just take a whole bunch of action. What I actually did, and I'll show this to you. It's actually pretty cool. Like I wrote down. Oh no, it's not in this one. It's in this. I got like a journal. Like you can actually like just get one like at Walmart or something like that. But I got a journal, and I just wrote down like I wrote down all of my stories that I can use for power, like things that affected me in the past that I thought were bad, and I'm turning it around into something good because now I can tell these stories to people and influence them and help them to break through. And so what I did is like I wrote down in this journal like every every strength that I have, every weakness that I have, every skill that I have, every talent that I have, because I want to know like what is it that I'm good at and what is it that I'm not using that the world needs to see. So if you actually take the time, sometimes you just have to step back because there's so much noise and distraction, like we were saying earlier. And once you can disconnect from everything and then just have like an extreme intense moment of just focus in what you're doing, results can happen like that. It's just all a decision. So I'm gonna pass it back to you. Hot potato.
Awesome. Awesome, bro. Awesome. And, he's absolutely right. I would tell you that I gained so much clarity, in my life and in business period when I did a couple things. Number one was delete my Facebook app from my phone. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, when I did that, I realized how much I was being distracted. And plus, on top of that, I don't like the features that Facebook has where they can tap into your camera at any point in time. So for those of you that don't know that already, please be aware, right? But, like I needed things that consumed a lot of my time where I thought I was being productive, right? And that literally allowed me to, when I logged into my Facebook account, to focus on the task at hand, to focus on connecting with people, to focus on putting my content out there, doing things of this nature. It just allowed me to get back to income-producing activities. You see, a lot of the reason why you're struggling right now is because your time is simply being put in the wrong places. Now, some of you may be taking massive action, and you just may need some correction. Well, hey, you want to reach out to whoever got you in front of this hangout, whether it was one of our team members, whether it was Brian, reach out to us and ask us questions. That's what we're here for. That's why we put on these trainings, right? I could be watching UConn football right now, hoping that they beat South Florida because they were down by a touchdown before I got on this hangout, right? So I don't know the score, but instead I'm spending time with you. I'm focusing on things that produce wealth for me over the course of time, and I'm creating leverage because as I am shooting this video, right, what's going to happen is there's going to be a recording, right? So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to repurpose this content. I'm going to put it on my blog. I'm going to email it to my list. I'm going to share it on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all this other stuff, right? That is how you leverage your time, right? Because what I'm literally doing right now is I am training people. Some of my current team members are watching this hangout right now. So how am I doing? I'm leveraging my time, right? I'm training prospects. I'm training team members, right? I'm giving calls to action. I'm telling you what to do next, right? If you haven't plugged in and joined already, you need to, right? You honestly need to because you need the training. You want the training. And if you really want to go out and get the foundation to go out and achieve the results in your life and in your business, it all starts with you taking action by going below this video and clicking the link right now. I just had a new team member, Kristen. I know you're watching. I salute you. Welcome to the team. She just joined the team today. She found me on YouTube, and she's going through some things in her life. I'm not going to get too personal with her, but she's serious and she's hungry and she has a big, strong why. She's a dog lover. She's a mompreneur. I'm glad that she decided to take massive action, and just want to say I love you and appreciate you. But it got to a point in the conversations that we were having through Facebook, and I was like, look, You just need to take action. You want to know the next step. You want to know the secret. It's taking action. It's jumping off the ledge, right? Taking that first step off the ledge and then going from there. Like I was on Facebook a little bit earlier, killing some time, finding things to laugh just so I can stay in a light mood. You want to laugh as much as possible throughout the day, my friends. Laughter is positive energy. It's great. It's fantastic. Even if you need to fake laugh in the mornings to get yourself up, you will be surprised what type of mood you become in when you just fake laugh. Because eventually you're going to start laughing at the fact that you're fake laughing, right? It just happens. At least that's what happened with me, right? So I saw this kid earlier today literally jump off of a 5-story building into a pool, right? I was like, wow. And then I was like, would I do that? And I was like, and as soon as I asked myself, I was like, yes, as long as the pool is deep enough where I could jump, I'm good, right? I would jump. And that's the sort of attitude that you got to have in business. You got to be willing to jump off a 5-story building to go create your wealth, to go create your dreams, to live the type of lifestyle that you want for yourself. Now, the people who are going to live the lifestyle that they want are going to be the people that decide to jump, right? Whether you decide to jump right away, whether you decide to jump 3 months from now, whether you decide 6 months from now, but when you make that decision to jump, that is when everything changes. Now, it's up to you as far as how long the timetable really is. You see, when it comes to me and Brian, what we're doing is we're condensing time. We're learning more. We're taking more action. We're connecting. We're connecting with the people who do what we tell them to do, right? You notice if you're watching this hangout right now, and you haven't plugged into my personal team, if I got you in front of this hangout, right, we're probably not going to have a conversation. And if we have a conversation, let's say if you find me on Facebook, right, you know what I'm going to tell you to do? You're going to be like, well, James, what's the secret of the universe? How do I go out and build my business? How do I do this? You need training. You need a foundation. Go below the video and click the buy button right now. Or if we're on Facebook, I'm going to shoot you over that link. That is how simple my business is. You want to know why I'm successful? You want to know why I go out and get sign-ups? You want to know why it's easy for me to go out and recruit and build and create affiliate commissions and things of that nature, go out and create new coaching clients, and if I decide to put together a product, I can sell it right away. You want to know why it's easy for me? Because I tell people what to do, right? And I got to emphasize this to you because a part of leadership, the biggest part of leadership, right, I would say, is being able to tell people what to do, right? Yes, you have to be a leader by taking action, right? But you can take action all day. If you're afraid to tell people what to do, your sales are going to go down, okay? But the moment that you start saying, you know what, I'm a leader, I'm going to tell people what to do, and if they don't do it, then hey, on to the next one. Like Jay-Z says in his song, on to the next, on to the next, right? You got to keep going, and you got to keep looking for the people who are open for communication, who are open for connection, who are open to listen to what you have to tell them to do, especially if they don't know what they're doing. Right? And that is what you have to know and understand is that you are the leader. You see, once you go out and just learn a couple of things that you will learn by plugging into, our teams, guess what will happen? You will know more than 97% of the industry. I would say 97 to 99% of the industry, to be quite honest with you, because the vast majority of people in internet marketing, affiliate marketing, home-based business, network marketing, work from home, whatever type of genre, industry you want to call it, they don't know what they're doing, right? And once you know and understand that, you have like this huge like life force of energy and possibility and opportunity right in front of you. And it's literally, let me give you the picture of what it is once you actually know what you're talking about, right? Which only takes half a second, right? You want to know the secret? It's learn, do, and teach. Learn, do, and teach. If you simply learn like you're learning right now, right, and then get out of the procrastination stage and do, right, you're going to go out and get results, right, and then you teach what you're doing, guess what? People are going to love you for it. They're going to like your Facebook. They're going to like your blog posts. They're going to like your Facebook posts. They're going to start sharing your stuff on social media, right? These things, like when I create a blog post, it goes viral. Right? Now I have some syndication stuff that goes out there. I have a couple of different ninja strategies, right? But it goes viral. When people see my stuff, they love it and they share it, right? So I'm getting free traffic, I'm getting free promotion, I'm getting free buzz, right? Because I'm giving value. Not only am I giving value, but you want to know how easy it is? I simply log into my back office, right? My Empower Network back office. I learn something by listening to an inner circle, by going through the products, right? And then I teach it, right? How hard is that? It's pretty easy. You can do it. If I could do it, you could do it, right? Let it be known, I am a college dropout. I used to never go to class. I was in an English class my freshman year. Used to skip class all the time. And then I went to class one day because I had to take a test. And I took the test, and I got the highest grade in the class. And the teacher was like, the kid that never comes to class had the highest grade in class. I was like, I don't need to be in school anymore. Right? That was just my personal feeling about it, because I'm like, I'm not learning what I needed to do in order to get to where I want to go, and I'm not even in this damn class, and I get the highest grade. It makes no sense. So I decided at that point, and on top of that, my psychology teacher, who was a different teacher, was just like totally boring. And I wanted to be a psychologist. Why? Because I wanted to help people. And the funny thing is, when I got into sales, sales is total psychology, and you're helping people break through by understanding psychology, by understanding the human being and emotions and feelings, and how to help people break through and snap out of their past experiences and all these other things that just goes into you growing as a person. The reason why you get into network marketing and internet marketing and you probably stay in the game is because you end up getting around people who start teaching you about personal development, and then you realize that you're not who you want to be, and you want to tap into that possibility. You want to tap into that full potential that you have within yourself, and it's absolutely possible, and you know that deep down in the bottom of your heart. That's why you're on this training. That's why you're watching this. And now it's up to you to jump off that ledge, right? Because you're not going to fall and break your leg. You're actually going to survive and live, and not just survive, but live an abundant life that you want to, but you have to be willing to jump off that building. And until you do, you're not going to get to where you want to go. You're just not going to get there. And I'm going to be blatantly honest and upfront with you. You're gonna have to put in that sweat equity. You're gonna have to go out and learn. You're gonna have to go out and fail a little bit. It's okay. It's okay to fail. You don't know how many times I've gotten a marketing piece wrong, how many times I've gotten a paid advertisement wrong, how many times I've gotten a video wrong, right? But here's the thing. Use the 80-20 rule. 80% of what you do in your business is not going to work, okay? Let me just tell you that right now. Use the 80-20 rule all the time. So, for example, if you go out and do YouTube videos, and you go do 100 YouTube videos, I guarantee you're going to make most of your money by 20 of those videos, and 80 of those videos you probably will barely make anything. It's just the law. Look it up. I forgot the guy's name that the law is named after, but it correlates to everything. It correlates to everything. It correlates to everything. I have this book by Perry Marshall called the 80-20 Marketing Principle or something like that, where it just breaks it down. Matter of fact, I'm glad I'm even sitting here telling myself about it, because I got to go read that book again. But the 80-20 rule is a great way to really focus in. So let's say you're posting in Facebook groups, for example, right? Let's say you post in 100 Facebook groups. 20% of 20 of those groups are going to give you traffic and leads probably. Well, at least most of your traffic and your leads from posting in those groups. So you expand those numbers. So you sit there and start to correlate to yourself. Well, if I'm in 500 groups and I share in 500 groups, then 100 of those groups is where I'm going to get most of my traffic and leads from and sales. Right? This is how simple the 80-20 rule is. And for those of you that are sitting here, I don't know what to do. I don't know how many blog posts I should write. I don't know how many videos I should shoot. I don't know how many articles I should do. I don't know how many paid ads I should do. Blah, 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 blah. Instead of being in your head, right, get off your ass and take action, and what's going to happen is you're going to go out and get results, and you're going to go out and be able to share those results. And once you go out and get a result, you get that small win, right? You go out and get people clicking on your link, and you're like, oh, wow, I'm getting traffic, right? And you go out and you start getting leads. You're like, oh, snap, people are opting into my capture pages and my websites, right? And then, boom, out of nowhere, you get your first sale while you're out on the beach, or you're out at the grocery store, you're out with your friends, or you're out with your family, and you're like, it's possible, right? It's possible. That is what you have to really get deep embedded into your brain, is that it is possible to do this. And me and Brian are experts, right? And neither is no one else if you really sit there and think about it, because there's always someone who's better, right? There's always someone who's better, right? And that's what you got to know and understand, is because no matter how good you get, right, There's always going to be that Michael Jordan out there, right? Of course, I have the last name, but I'm just saying. But listen, guys, listen, guys. I love you and appreciate you, and I believe in you, and you just gotta know that it's possible, that it's easy. What I'm really looking to do, as I'm talking to you right now, is I'm looking to really inspire you to go out and take massive action in your business. And one of my mentors, Lawrence Sam, I remember this training course that I bought that I didn't even have the money for at the time, right? I didn't have the money for it at the time. I borrowed the money, right? And then I paid the person back within a week, right? But my desire to get that course was so freaking, like, I can't even describe the feeling. Like, I was like, I'm getting this course no matter what. That's it, period. This is going to be a game changer for me. And that course was called, what is it? What is it? What's the course that Rashkin came out with back in before the Freedom event? I don't remember. It's an awesome course, but I can't remember the name.
I know what you're talking about, but I forgot it too.
Yeah, but basically, the course teaches, in that's how much information I have in my head right now that I can't recall it. But this course, right? I gotta get it. Huh? Which course is it?
Are you talking about High Ticket Academy?
I don't know. Yes, there we go. High Ticket Academy. Like this, when this thing was coming out, it was what I needed at the time. I needed some mindset hacks to really allow me to go out and start attracting those high ticket sales in my business. $500 commissions, $1,000 commissions, $3,000 commissions, and beyond. Right? I didn't believe it was possible. Even though I had done it before where I had four-figure paydays in my business. I got to a place where I just didn't think I could personally do it. And I saw what was going to be shared in this course, and I was like, I have to get my hands on this. And I did it. And it totally changed the game for me. It totally changed the way that I thought. It totally changed the way that I positioned myself in my business when I actually talked to someone who decided to take action and get into their own business because they were looking to achieve their dreams. I no longer had any fear. I no longer had any doubts. I was all about connecting with that person to help them go out and live their dream. And a lot of people are afraid to really open up and connect with people. Like I said, a lot of people are afraid to tell people what to do, right? It's because you've been conditioned to get told what to do all the time. It's like unless you're one of those A-type personalities, right? You're afraid to tell people what to do. Well, get used to telling people what to do. If you have kids, you tell them what to do, right? It's no different when you're talking to a prospect or a team member. Now, I'm not saying treat them like a kid because that's a whole different thing, right? You got to respect them like a person, like a grown adult, right? So you got to talk to them that way. But you don't coddle them, right? You give them what they need to hear. Like one of my favorite phrases that I tell people, even before they join my team, I say, look, listen, I can tell you right now, as a leader, I'm going to tell you what you need to hear and not what you want to hear, right? I'm not here to just sell you. I'm not here to just hard sell you. I'm here to tell you what you need to hear, right? And I've had some people basically run away from me, and it's because you're just not ready yet. Because I can tell you right now, whenever I talk to one of my mentors and they tell me to do something, I shut up and listen. Why? Because they're in a position that I want to be in. I'm not stupid, right? And I don't and don't take offense to this, right? Because hey, I've been stupid. Where someone who has way more results than I have, right, has told me to do something and then not done it, right? I'm sure you can relate, but you got to get to a place where you're just like, you know what? I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I'm willing to do what someone who's in a better position than I am in is telling me to do. And if they tell me to do something, I'm going to do it with absolute faith and conviction that by doing it is going to get me closer to my goal of achieving my dreams and potentially allowing me to achieve my dream, right? And we're telling you everything that you need to hear in order for you to go out and get the results that you want in your life and in your business. And it's up to you. It's up to you to make the decision that the time is now. Because I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I'm going to do whatever it takes no matter what. And I'm simply going to follow the leader. This is the ultimate game of follow the leader. And once you know and understand that, right? Like I remember I said it to one of my mentors. I was just like, listen, I totally get it. This is the ultimate game of follow the leader. So I'm gonna follow the leader. Tell me what to do so I can go out and get results. And that is what I do in my business, right? I'm always seeking leadership and counsel from people who are more successful than me. It's one of the reasons why I stay in the game. It's one of the reasons why I'm motivated and I'm jazzed and I'm excited, because I get energy from people who are in a better position than I am, and I relate that energy to you. I give that energy to you, and I transfer that energy to you so that you can go out and start taking action, so that you can go out and start getting results for yourself and start creating the success story within you. And you have to make the decision that now is the time to unlock that within yourself, right? And if you haven't already, you need to go below this video, click the link, get started, and then come back over here and keep going in with this training, so that you can really align yourself with someone like myself, someone like Brian, or someone like whoever referred you to this video. Whoever refers you to this video is a genius. I can tell you that right now, because they are leveraging the fact that me and Brian are putting on this training, right? And even if I send it to you, I'm a genius in the fact that I'm leveraging the fact that Brian is on here giving some value, because it's a different perspective. I'm learning from Brian. I'm sitting here seeing him grow. I'm like, wow. He's sitting, just what he's doing, he's a better leader than he was last week. And it's awesome when you see that within people, because it just motivates you. It just motivates you, and it inspires you so that you can go out and take more massive action. Like, I'm so ecstatic for you, bro. And I'm also excited because now if I hit Brian up tomorrow, I'm like, dude, I'm going out and getting 2 sales today. Eat my dust. You know what he's going to do? He's going to go out and take massive action. He's going to go out and take massive action. And then both of us are going to be sitting around on our computers middling about going out and getting 2 sales, right? And then when the other one says, oh, I got 2 sales, the other one's going to be like, oh, shit, right? And we're just going to keep going and keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And that's what you want to have in your business. You want to have a running partner. You want to have someone that's like-minded. You want to have someone that has that type of energy, right? And as you can see, just because of the fact that I started edifying Brian, you notice how my energy spiked up, right? I just turned into Goku, like out of nowhere, for Dragon Ball Z, just because of the fact that I was talking about his energy level and his growth. And that is why you got to be around like-minded people, because that is how fast you can get energy. That is how fast you can tap into a state of mind where you can just go out and haul ass and move mountains, right? And that's what you want to be able to do in your business. And Brian, bro, I'm going to give it over to you right now. Just because I'm hyped, I'm ecstatic, and I want to drink some more coffee, bro. And I feel like I've been talking for the last half an hour, to be quite honest with you. But I want to hear some more insights from you. I actually do want to learn from you. I've listened to you, bro, and it's been seeping into my mind about different things that I personally need to do in my business, just to take my business to the next level. So share.
Okay, so when you're talking about jumping, like, remember you were saying jumping into the pool and stuff, something came to mind of if you know who Steve Harvey is. I've been watching a lot of his stuff, and there's this one thing that he said in one of his,
I was thinking about that too, bro.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that too.
Just gonna repeat it for anyone. If you already know what I'm talking about, just listen anyways, okay? Basically, he was saying that the only way to get there is to jump, because you're gonna have to, you're gonna have to stumble through some dark times in order to get to where you want to be at, right? And that's when a lot of people quit, because they jump and they feel like, oh crap, I'm gonna hit the ground. I don't have anything to catch me. But if you think about having a parachute, right? You can't just jump out the plane and pull out the parachute right away, because what happens? It gets tangled up on the plane, and then you're bye-bye, right? So basically, you have to wait, a while. You got to skydive. You got to just like enjoy the ride for a while until you can pull your parachute. A lot of times people give up, probably like right before they have a breakthrough, like 80% of the way through, and then they don't realize that they had this parachute the whole time. All they had to do is pull it, right? And that's usually when you have a breakthrough. And so that I was actually thinking of that when you were talking about jumping, is like, if you want to get to that level of success that you want, you have to jump. there's no shortcuts. There's no way around it. You have to put in the sweat equity, like James was saying. Like, you have to put in the hard work. There's no way that you can get to the other side without doing what you're afraid of doing. And I actually want to illustrate fear in a way that will make you feel a little more comfortable thinking about it, because for a really long time in my business, I was afraid of doing certain things, even just jumping on a hangout or talking on a call or something, right? Until one of my mentors told me that fear is not always the same. You know, getting on a hangout, the feeling you get from shooting a hangout and being live in front of you know, hundreds of people is not the same fear as jumping into the deep sea without any protection and there's great white sharks all around you, right? It's not the same. And this is basically what he taught me is like, I was like, I was living with this guy for like, you know, 3 or 4 months, and I just saw he kept jumping into situations that I was afraid of, right? I was like, how are you so fearless? Like, how is it that it just seemed like he was immune to being afraid of anything? And I was like, how are you doing that? And he told me, well, it's because whenever I see a situation that has fear in it, I recognize it and I embrace it and I allow myself to actually take that fear, because I know that the second that I face it, there's going to be victory on the other side, and somehow I'm going to grow stronger and I'm going to come out better, right? But a lot of people don't want to go through that process, so they stay stuck. So what he purposely did is, like, for an entire year, he just faced as many fears as he could, to the point where he can look back at something that for a long time he was afraid of. I could do that, right? Because he just faced so many fears getting to that point. And so he illustrated fear to me like a bunch of circles. Like, he drew them out on a whiteboard as a bunch of circles. He's like, okay, here's the fear of a great white shark, right? It's like huge. Here's the fear of going up to a girl that's hot and you want to talk to her, right? Here's the fear of speaking on camera, right? And when he drew out these circles of fear, they were not all the same sizes. And so the way he illustrated it to me, he said, if you wanna conquer this fear, and it just seems huge, and it's like this giant circle that you can never comprehend or envision yourself facing, what do? You face smaller fears. You start doing things that make you uncomfortable until the point where when you do face that bigger fear, it's like it's nothing to you, because you've already faced so many fears in the past. So that's just like, that was on my mind this entire time when you were talking about the whole jumping thing, because that's something that I really had to overcome in my life. Like, that was one of my biggest obstacles, is just facing fear, and like kind of being in that mode where you're just hesitating and you don't want to do anything and you're just thinking all the time, and you know what's going to happen once you take the right actions, but you don't want to do it today. You want to do it tomorrow, or you want to hesitate or procrastinate or find a reason and justify why you're not doing the things that you need to do. So yeah, maybe that helped you. Maybe you've already heard of that, but that really helped me, understanding that not all fear is the same, and that you can actually face it in small segments, and then it'll make things a whole lot easier for you. Yeah, so I'll pass it back to you.
Yeah, bro, you know what helped him. Come on, man. Don't be shy. You know what you just shared is just super powerful, right? You know what you just shared is super powerful. You gotta use it, man. You know, people just need to use it. People need to use the knowledge and the training that we're giving them. I put out a quote earlier today on Facebook by a guy named Joseph Campbell. I don't know who this guy is. I was listening to a winner's image, an audio from Bob Proctor, not the video version, but an audio, and he said this quote, and it was, "The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek," right? And you know, I can definitely correlate with that. I used to be in such a state of control in my business where I felt that if I wasn't in front of my computer, right, that I couldn't make money. That is where my head used to be at. And this was a time where Brian was like hitting me. He was like, dude, what are you doing? I'm like, yo, dude, I'm just zoned in on Facebook, right? And then I sat there and I started to say to myself, wait a minute. In order for me to go out and start to hit my goal of $15,000 a day, right? Am I going to be sitting on Facebook all damn day? And the answer was no. So it was like, well, what do I need to do? Well, I need to create more leverage. And I started to instantly, and I mean instantly, think about what I could do in my business to create more leverage. Getting back to doing hangouts on a consistent basis was one of them. Shooting more YouTube videos, right? Going on Fiverr and hiring some and doing some Fiverr gigs for some SEO backlinks, right? So for those of you that were looking for a golden nugget, a strategy, take that to the bank, right? Because I heard that information over a year ago and I procrastinated on using it. But if you want to go out and get your YouTube videos ranked, go on Fiverr, hire some people that know how to do something that you don't know how to do for $5, okay? $5. You spend more than that going to Burger King or McDonald's or Domino's or ordering pizza or Chinese food, yada, 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 right? So let's just get the whole money excuse out of here because you spend more money going to the corner store than you would spend on Fiverr for a couple gigs, right? And you can literally go out and start seeing your videos get on #1 on YouTube, right? Literally by doing that simple strategy. So I started to think about all the different things that I could do in my business, right? Like I currently use a tool where I leverage the ability to connect with people on Facebook using free methods, right? Paid for the tool one time, right? I don't have an outsourcer anymore because I don't need one because I have this tool, right? And this tool allows me to post in Facebook groups while I'm sleeping, right? Did I just say that because that's awesome, right? Post in Facebook groups while I'm sleeping. I can pull leads every single day, from Facebook, and I mean like hundreds to thousands of leads every single day of people that I can connect with and people that I can create customized Facebook PPC ads. Leverage, right? This is what I'm bringing into my business. And on top of that, blogging, right? I love blogging because it's social, because it's interactive, because it gives people the ability to, digest information while I'm not around, right? And because of my blog, I've been able to start recruiting on autopilot. People are finding me in different places. Like I said, Christian, who got plugged in today, right, found me on YouTube, and more team members are finding me on social media, on YouTube, from my blog, from a Google search, things of that nature. I'm getting traffic from Google on my blog now, and I haven't been doing active SEO optimization stuff. I've just been doing some social media stuff. Now I'm about to get into some ninja stuff when it comes to SEO, right? That I'm gonna, keep under wraps for my team members and my mastermind partners like Brian. But I'm creating more leverage, right? Because I know and understand everyone that I personally know that has more success than me has leverage in their business, and I mean serious leverage. That's why I pick their brains all the time. They're like, "What do you do?" And you know what's funny? Well, it's not funny. It's actually it's epic. I would say it's epic. Is that when I ask them a question, they tell me, right? So why is that? How is it that you can get the time of a producer, someone who's more successful than you? It all comes from you making the decision that you're a leader, making a decision that you're going to go out and prove yourself. Why don't you go out and prove yourself? Right? One of those first steps of proving yourself is by joining right now, by going below this video, clicking a link, and making the decision to take action, just like Kristen did earlier a few hours ago. But you have to make the decision that now is the time for you to go out and get the leadership that you want, that now is the time to go out and get the knowledge and the expertise and get the time of a producer like Brian and myself or whoever referred you to this video so that you can go out and start taking massive action. Because you know what's going to happen after this hangout? Me and Brian, we're going to talk for a little bit and we're going to mastermind and we're going to talk about, our little diabolical scheme of taking over the world, just playing. But, we're literally going to talk about how we're going to go out and just change the game, literally. You get to a place of influence, in your life and in your business, and you start to, things become predictable, right? Like, I no longer worry about how to get sales in my business. I know exactly what I need to do to go out and make money in my business. The question is, do you? And if you don't know, then you need to get around people who have predictable outcomes in their business, like myself and like Brian, so that you could just go out and stretch yourself, and not only stretch yourself, but get paid at the same time, my friends. So listen, you really got to make the decision that now is the time. You really got to make the decision that you can go out and get the results that you want for yourself, because until you sit there and say, James, I am open, I am ready, I'm going to pull out my credit card and buy, and I'm going to be damn sure happy that I'm making the decision to do it, you're not going to go out and get the results that you seek, my friend, and that's just the God's honest truth. And I had to come to that place too. You're talking to someone who was stubborn. You're talking to someone who sat there and said that, I knew it all, and yeah, I had this mentor and that guy, and I knew that guy, and I could call this guy right now to get knowledge and information. And the reality of the situation is, no one who's more successful than you has all the time in the world, right? They have family, they have obligations, they have hobbies that they want to pursue, right? So you got to have the education, you got to have the ability to tap into education on a 24-hour, 7 days a week basis, right? And that's why you got to invest in yourself, right? I'm sure that you invested in going out and getting whatever job that you have right now. You put money in the gas into the car that you drive so that you can go out for the interview, right? You paid for the printer that you had to go print out your resume, or you went to the library, or you went to Staples or something, and you paid for your resume, because you showing up without your resume, you damn good and well you weren't going to get hired for your job. But you're not willing to make the same investment into yourself, into your personal education, into your own dreams. That is when the game changes for you, and that's what you have to be willing to do in order to really go out and get the results that you want in your life and in your business, my friend. I love you and I appreciate you, and I believe in you, and I can tell you right now that I am no different than you. The only difference is that I already made the decision, and that I am moving closer and closer and closer and closer towards achieving my goals and towards achieving my dreams and all these things. And I speak life into you, and I speak life into my kids. You know what I say to my kids before they go to sleep? I say, hey, look, what are you going to, I was like, dream about how you're going to become a trillionaire, right? And you know what's funny? My kids laugh at me. My kids laugh. Like, they just laugh. And they're like, okay, okay, Dad. And you know what's funny is that one day, I have this vision that one day my kids are going to just outperform me in such a dramatic way that I would have never imagined seeing it happen. And it's going to happen, right? And then their kids are going to do the same thing, and I'm going to be around for that, right? And not only that, but they're going to have a life that I didn't have the ability to have. And that's the type of dream state that you got to get into. That's the sort of motivation, the why that's going to cause you to stay up. It's going to cause you to go out and drink a couple cups of coffee or go for a run at night to keep yourself up and keep yourself motivated so that you can go out and do what it takes to get the results that you seek. And if you notice that you've been paying attention, your eyes are glued to this, your ears are absolutely just listening to every single word that's coming from me, because you know it's truth, and you know that you need this information, you know that you need this knowledge, and you know that you got to take action on what we say, so that you can go out and get the results that you want for yourself. And if you sit there and really break down everything that we've been sharing with you, I've been saying the same thing in a different way over and over and over and over and over again, through the use of stories and metaphors, so that you can truly understand this, and so that this is deeply rooted into your subconscious mind. Because there's going to be a day, where you hear everything that I'm saying to you, and it's going to just snap into your conscious mind, and you're going to be like, you know what, James and Brian were right. And everything that they told me on this hangout was absolutely true, and I'm glad that they told me, because it came into reality, and they were right on the money. And that is what you have to do, because in order for you to get to where you want to go, you have to destroy your current ego, and you have to rebuild yourself up. And it happens every single day, right? There's days where I don't want to work my business, right? And I literally have to snap myself out of it. Like, I'm okay, I'll take a break. I may go watch a show just to decompress and get away from it all. But then I sit down at my computer, right? I dive into some personal development. I'll listen to my Abraham Hicks CD, right? And I'll get into a state of mind where I think about everything that I need to think about, the possibilities in life, the potential, my own potential, my future earnings, my future life, the cars that I'm going to drive, the house I'm going to live in, the school that my kids are going to go to, right? being able to see them, go play their baseball games, their basketball games, their soccer games, and I'm not having my kids play football, just me personally. But all these different experiences that I see myself having, right? That's my motivation. That's my why. And you really got to tap into that, and you got to tap into it on a consistent basis. One of my mentors, his name is Cedric, and one thing that he said for years is that your why has to be big enough. Your why has to be so big that it makes you cry. And my why could make me cry at any second, because my why is my kids. My why is setting up a life for them that I never had, right? Because and I'm doing that just by being around, right? Just by being around, because my dad wasn't around, so I'm already manifesting what I want for my kids, and it's only going bigger and better and bigger and better. And you can do that for yourself. Whatever it is that you're really looking to do in your life, you can do, right? I would have never, if you would have asked me 2 years ago if I would be sitting here on a hangout right now sharing everything and being open and vulnerable with you and sharing my trials and my tribulations and also sharing my successes with you, I would have told you no. But hey, guess what? 2 years later, right, I'm doing it, and I'm being open, I'm being vulnerable, and I'm sharing with you what has allowed me to go out and get results and go out and bring on new team members, make affiliate sales in my business, create signups via email, blogging, video marketing, networking on Facebook, paid advertising. All these different experiences is all being balled up into this hour and a half of time that me and Brian has been sharing with you, and the value is priceless. The value of what we've been sharing with you is priceless, right? And you got to make that decision that you want to get more, right? If I could tell you one thing, I love buying stuff, right? I love buying coffee, right? I love buying juice. I love buying food to eat and feed myself after I go for a run and exercise and stuff like that. I love feeding my mind with books, audios, marketing training, right? There's so much out there that you can learn. There's so much for you to learn and understand and develop. And when I mean so much, I mean there's so much possibility for you to develop yourself so that you can live a life. You can live a life that you want to live, right? And you're still making the decision of whether or not you can live it, but you can. You can. So make the decision that you can, and you will. And you will. I promise you that. And, bro, I want to bring it back over to you. We've been on, I don't know how long, we've been on for a little bit over an hour. If there's something that you want to share, share it. For those of you that are still watching this, make a decision to get in. Make a decision to pull out your credit card and buy it. And Brian's going to come on and speak right now, but I'm telling you guys, make the decision now to join us, right, or get left behind, because we're moving. We're moving, and we're moving fast. And what you're going to notice is that we're going to have more people on these Hangouts. We're going to have more people opening up our emails, more people following us on Facebook, more people following us on YouTube, Instagram, all these different places, and you're going to be like, what the hell, why didn't I join when they told me to? Don't be that person, right? Because you're going to consider yourself a loser. And I don't know about you, but I like being associated with winners, and I like being a winner my damn self, right? So make the decision to be a winner instead of being a loser by literally going below this video right now, clicking the link and getting started. And, with that being said, brother, I just want to give it back over to you.
Okay, I'm just going to cover a couple quick things because we have actually been going on for like an hour and a half. So I'm just going to say a couple quick things, and then I guess that would be a good time to end it. But it's really about stepping into your leadership and doing some things that 90% of the population is not doing. Because if you want to earn an income that, the 1% are earning, who pretty much have enough money to do whatever it is that they want, whether it's spend time with your family or your kids, or maybe you have a hobby that you want to invest into, or maybe you want to just reach back and help communities, right? If you want to do something great, you have to start acting great, and you have to step into that leadership role. And so, by James giving you call to actions, now you need to make a decision to sell you. We're doing that because you need to become that person. You have to start, learning. If you're not already at that level, right, you have to start getting to that point where you can make a decision like that, right, without having to think about it. Because if you have to think about it, then you're just going to be like we're gonna leave you behind, and then there might not be a chance to get back in with this, right?
There
And
won't
so
be. Be
we're
honest,
pushing
bro.
you.
Be honest. There's not gonna be.
So the thing is, like, you got to get into the mindset of a leader, and you got to get into the mindset of somebody who is making things happen, right? And so we're pushing you to get to that level right now. So just take action, click on the link below, and I think that would be a good time to end it.
Yeah, guys, you heard it loud and clear from Brian. I mean, he basically told you guys what was up, man, and it's up to you to. And this is, now that we're ending it, you just gotta make the decision. You just gotta make the decision. And I went Lawrence Tam really quick right there with my voice change, but yeah, I just want you to know and understand that we're telling you to do something that we've already done. That's why we have the conviction and the belief to just tell you to do it. There's no hesitation in us when we tell you to do something because we've done it already. And what you see out there on the internet is there's a lot of people who are, being false prophets, I would say. And we're not. We have results. We could show you our income. We could show you our leads that we have and all this other stuff. But, I mean, the reality is you already know that we're producing, right? And why is that? Because someone can't project this. They can't fake it, right? They can try, but you really can't fake it, especially over video, because everyone knows whether or not you're telling the truth on a subconscious level. That's just the reality of the situation. So when you know that and you understand that, that's why when people are not afraid to get in front of the video, people are not afraid to give you value. You just got to know that they mean what they say and that they can help you go out and get the results that you want. And you just have to make the decision that now is the time. Now is the time to take advantage of our time. And with that being said, my friends, we love you. We appreciate you. Make the decision to join now. Go below this video, click the link, and we will see you on the inside. It's a wrap. Peace.